Welcome to Entrapment. This is a Minecraft minigame made by Slice Lime about setting traps for an opponent that you will never see. It was first released in 2015 but has had many updates over the years, and the original explanation video is quite outdated now, so this is an updated guide to how the game works. So Entrapment is a game played between two teams, red versus blue, or lapis versus redstone as the game calls it. The goal is to completely kill off all members of the opponent team, but there's a catch. You will never actually get to see those other players. Instead, the teams are placed in two identical arenas, one for each team, and they are surrounded by bedrock walls, so you can't escape. You can gather resources from the arena as you are in survival mode, but keep an eye on the timer on the right side of the screen. Once it hits 0, the teams swap arenas. And that's how you kill the enemy team. If you set up a trap just before the round ends, the other team might get caught in the trap and die. Hence the name of the game, Entrapment. There's quite a lot of strategies for setting up traps, some being more clever than others, and you've been looking at quite a few already. The map will also provide you plenty of resources for setting up these things, including redstone components and spawn eggs, but more about that later. Now, every time you swap marks the start of a new round, and each round can last several minutes depending on the settings of the game. Entrapment games typically last around 10 or so rounds, but it can be less or a lot more. Each swap puts you in this safe zone. In this place, you can't be hurt and you also cannot build anything. There's a barrier in front of it, which only opens to let players through. Any other thing that goes in gets immediately thrown out. However, you cannot stay safe here forever. You may have noticed there's another timer on the right side of your screen, spawn safety. Once this hits 0, the world border will be coming for you, and you will have to walk out. So if the entrance is, say, blocked by a trap, you better disarm that trap quickly. And there is another reason to go get out into the arena. Every round, a loot chest spawns in both arenas containing valuable trap making material. They spawn in a random location each time, but always on the surface, and they can be recognized by a particle beam coming out of them, which only disappears when the chests are emptied. The contents of these chests vary a lot, but they are always the same for both teams on one round. Here's a list of all of them. They contain redstone, lava arrows, potions, TNT, and also lots and lots of mob spawn eggs. You can see them here on screen. Those stone ones are infested blocks. However, not all of your needs can be fulfilled from these chests. You will also have to go out into the arena and gather your own materials. Wood, cobblestone. On some arenas there's diamonds to be found. And there are lots of differences between arenas like that, so let's talk about arenas. Currently there are 29 of them, and you get to choose which one you want to play on at the start of the game. They are made by various members of the community, including one by yours truly. In some arenas, resources are scarce, like diamonds, but sometimes even wood. So the start of the game is often a rush to see who can get the resources first, as you really do not want those to fall in the hands of the enemy. Some arenas have secrets, like underground rooms, so part of what makes you a good entrapment player is also knowing where those rooms are. But one thing you do not have to worry about though is food, because in entrapment your food bar never decreases. That's nice, but it also has a problem. If you can't eat, you cannot regenerate. Natural health regeneration is turned off in Entrapment, so this means that every bit of damage counts. So in Entrapment it is vital to learn to avoid all this unnecessary damage. And that's it, those are the rules of the game. However, before we go, there's a few more things you cannot do in Entrapment. First of all, these arenas are at the build limit, so you cannot build above this bedrock wall. And also you can't walk out of it. If you go out, then you will get a warning, and if you stay out for too long, you will get wither damage. And also you cannot shoot any entities across the arenas or something. Like, there's no way to get across this gap, so don't even try. Another rule is that at the start of every round, all lava in front of the spawn zone gets cleared. That's 3 blocks in front of the spawn zone. And there's a reason for that. It's to prevent these kinds of traps. Traps where there's a huge lava curtain that's impossible to escape from. And finally, let's take a quick look at the settings of the game. This here is the lobby where you spawn, and you can walk into one of these two clouds of particles to join a team. Each team needs obviously at least one player before you can start. Over here you can see and select your arena. You can kind of browse through all the available ones. And on the right half you can set the game settings. You can set the length of the round, and you can also make the round length increase over time. This means you get more time to set up traps later in the game. However, as the round time increases, the save time can also decrease. That's what the settings at the top are for. This means that at the end of the round, even though you have lots of time to set up traps, you have very little time to escape them, making it draw even closer. Do note though that if you want to change these settings, you need to be an operator on the server that you are playing on. And that's the game. If you want to play Entrapment, you can go to Slime's website where you can download the map. The latest version is Entrapment 1.5, which is for Minecraft 1.15.1. You can also join my Discord server where me and a bunch of other people sometimes play Entrapment. And currently we are also organizing an Entrapment Fan Tournament. So if you want to join, we're still looking for players. So there's a link down below. And that's all there is to say, so thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the tournament.